Hey guys, so I found some cool stuff at Dollar Tree and Five Below that I wanted to show you. But first, I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the makeup that I'm wearing today. In yesterday's video, I was using the Morphe Cheek Thrills Multi-Finish Face Trio in Apres-Ski, and I used the powder blush and the cream blush in pink. And in today, I also used the highlighter. I don't know if you'll be able to see the difference, but in yesterday's video, I used the NYX Buttermelt highlighter in You Butta Work. So I used this on my eyes again today like I did in yesterday's video, but I just didn't put it on my face. So sometimes small changes can make a difference. So I just wanted to point that out. And also, in yesterday's video, I used the Profusion Pastel palette, and I used the shade Wishful yesterday, and today I used Thankful. They are very, 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 very similar. They're both like an aqua color, but the one I used today is just a little bit lighter because I also used a different base. And yesterday I used Beauty Creations, and today I used a NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Macaroon. So this is a lighter, like minty type shade, and that way the eye look is not quite as like in your face out there. It's a little bit softer because the top I have on today is more like a mint, whereas yesterday was like an aqua. So I wanted to tweak it a little bit. So instead of using the LA Colors Neon Gel Eyeliner in Wonder like I did yesterday, what I did was I took a hard candy eyeliner in Jailbreak, which is a gray, and I went on my upper waterline or tight line with this, and I didn't use any eyeliner underneath my eyes. So the overall look is less severe looking, but what this will do by using it the way that I did is it kind of amps up your mascara a little bit by having that line underneath there. It'll make your mascara look a little bit more noticeable, we'll say, than if I hadn't done that. And also, I've tried the Five Below Stain and Peel Off lip product in pink. And as you can see from my lips, if you look at the color on this and then you look at the color on my lips, just know that if you buy this, that the shade of pink is that it stains your lips is way more intense than what it's showing on the tube there. Of course, my lips are pretty pigmented pink already, but this just made them like a pinky red almost. So it didn't come out to be the color that I thought it was going to. So wanted to mention that. And then what I decided to use for a lip product was the Revlon Revlon Super Lustrous Shine Balm. And I used Honey Shine because I thought that this was pretty close to that. And of course, what I ended up with was something totally different, not because of this, but because of this. So just know that going in, if you were thinking about picking that up, that it's going to be more like a pinky red than a pink. All right, so let's move on to the stuff that I got at Five Below and Dollar Tree. I mentioned in a previous video that I started playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure video game on the Switch. And by the way, that's the poster that came with the game. So I was at Five Below and I was looking at the Easter stuff, and they had two different Hello Kitty dolls for Easter. And this is the one I decided to get. So this was $5, but she is going to be right over there after this video on display every day. But oh my God, she's so cute. And I am having a, and it's authentic, you know, it says Sanrio and everything on the back of it. Because you have to be careful with Hello Kitty merchandise because there's a lot of fakes out there, but this is the real thing. And there was another option as far as the dress she was wearing and the bow and the flower. So there were two options, but this I thought was the prettier of the two. But so what was I going to say? Oh, as far as the game goes, there's a guide in the game, and if you get stuck, you can use the guide and it will help you. Although it'll only help you to a certain degree because I've already run into a situation where I was using the guide and it brought me to a certain area and I was like, what are they trying to tell me? Where am I supposed to go from here? What am I supposed to do? So when I play that game, I have to keep going to the internet to see like, okay, what do I do now? Because they will kind of tell you in the game at the top, they'll give you instructions, but it will only help you to a certain extent, and then you have to kind of figure it out on your own, unless you go on the internet and look for even more help like I have. I thought this was going to be so much more simple of a game, but there's way more to it than what I thought, and the island is enormous, so you will never get bored because there's so much to do and so much to see and so many people to meet, and they keep unlocking more and more characters as you go on. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update on that. And then okay, so let's go over to Dollar Tree now. At Dollar Tree, I finally found one of the things on my wish list. They have these tap lights that are only $1.25, and they come in 3 different options. There's a whale, there's a unicorn, and there's a dog. And how cute is this little guy? The only thing that's weird about this is the base of it does not really attach to the light. So the top part just kind of sits on the base. Now you don't want to leave this on all the time. If you're not using it, you want to shut it off. But there's a button on the bottom, and you have to supply your own batteries. It doesn't come with batteries. But you press that button, and then you put the top back on the base, and it will flash, I think, 6 different colors. So you tap it, and it will change different colors. And then you can also put it on this flash mode that it will just cycle through the different colors. But then if you tap it enough times, I think there's an option where it shuts off. I'm just going to shut it off manually. But yeah, so it has all different colors, so you could use this for many, many different things. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put him next to the Hello Kitty over here because he's just cute. And for $1.25, I thought that was a good deal with all the different colored lights and stuff. It's funny because this clock that my husband got me for Christmas, for the Nightmare Before Christmas, this also cycles through different colors if you put it on that setting. It doesn't look like I have it on that setting right now, but I usually do. Hold on, I'll turn it on. I had to try to remember where I put the remote control because it comes with a remote control and you can put it on different settings. So you can have it on this that will cycle through all the different colors. That's what I usually leave it on because I think it looks pretty in the video. But anyways, this dog from Dollar Tree does the same thing. You know, you can cycle through the colors, or you can leave it on whichever color is your favorite, or I think there's one that's more like just a standard white light if you wanted to use it like as a night light. But I wouldn't use it as a night light though, because it did say on the box not to leave it on for a long period of time because it could overheat. Okay, and the other thing that I got at Dollar Tree was, man, their socks section is unbelievable. Every time I go, I see new socks. So I think I mentioned in my video yesterday that I've been getting back into listening to hair bands, or some people call it like glam metal or hair metal. And so I found these Motley Crue socks at Dollar Tree. Unbelievable. I loved this like mint type green color, and so I found those, which leads me to my next couple of things. So I went to Barnes& and Noble yesterday, and the Barnes& and Noble that I went to has CDs, and I got the Motley Crue Shout at the Devil CD, and this is like a 40th anniversary celebration type thing of the release of this. It's got pictures on the inside. And I had this many, many years ago, but it was back when I used to buy cassette tapes. I mean, that's how long ago it was that I had this. And I no longer have any of my cassette tapes because, you know, for obvious reasons. I mean, they don't hold up well over time, and they don't sound good, and they even squeak when they get old. So I got rid of my cassette players a long time ago. But yeah, that's when I had this, was like 40 plus years ago. So I wanted to get this again. Now, mainly though, the reason why I went to Barnes and Noble was I told you in a previous video that I wanted to get this book. And I found it, and this is actually like the size of my hand, so it's perfect because I don't like books that are huge and heavy because I like to read in bed, and it makes it difficult to hold the book if it's really big and heavy, so this is perfect. And they had many, many different versions of this to choose from. So the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu, it is a hardcover, but that's okay because it's small. And it's got like gold embossment on the side of it, really pretty. And it even has some illustrations with the passages. So I've got to finish my Inheritance Games book first, though, and that is so good that I'll probably just end up flying through that. So was able to get this, and it wasn't too bad considering what a nice book it is. It wasn't too bad price-wise. So it was $12.99. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good for this beautiful illustrated hardcover book. So can't wait to get into this though. So that, I think, is it, people. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Bye.